everybody, happy Makeup Monday. I'm like a couple minutes behind here getting on. Had to get set up. My name is Courtney. If you're just catching me on your news feed, I'm here with Minimally Enhanced, and we're going to do one of my faves today. This is a makeup tutorial, so you've had your fair warning. Scroll on by if you're not into it. But today we're going to be doing a no foundation makeup routine. So if you are, not a big makeup person, or you don't like the way that makeup sits on your face or foundation sits on your face, or you're kind of getting into your 30s and 40s or older and you're not really into wearing that much makeup, but sometimes it's nice to just get a little bit of an oomph if you're going out or you have an event or something like that, this is going to be the makeup tutorial for you. I myself am a very lightweight makeup person. I do like getting a little bit more glam once in a while, but for the most part, if I'm going out, it's going to be very light, more just kind of like enhancing my natural features without having to wear like a lot of layers of makeup. And the best part is that trends are kind of going back to a little bit more of the no makeup makeup look. So this is going to be perfect for you. So if you like this video, please give it a share. I would absolutely love it, and be sure to let me know so I can give you a thank you. If you're interested in grabbing any of the products that I'm about to use today, you can send me a message and I can get you some custom colors that will be perfect for your skin tone, and you can build your own palette to your liking. So all my makeup is going to be from this one palette today. I'm going to be using a mix of two different lines that I sell from Saint. So I'll be using a few of our 3D tins, and I'll also be using a little bit of demi color. So we are getting rid of the foundation, we are getting rid of the concealer, and really just going to kind of bring in all the enhancement and colors in a very light way that's still super flattering, but it almost doesn't even look like makeup. Okay, let's get started. So I've just grabbed a few of my favorite brushes that I like to use for this. I still like to go in and build a little bit of my contour. If you're already a demi user and you have your full demi at home, if you're a customer of mine, go ahead and build in your sculpt as you would like. But with this makeup routine, I'm going to go in just into my contour. So I'm going to use, this is shadow, this is kind of my brows, but I'm actually going to use Astoria today. So I'm going to go in with a detail brush, and when I'm doing an application this way, even though our 3D tins do provide coverage, I'm just looking for more of a light layer of enhancement. So I'm just going to tap in with my detail brush, and I'm just doing like a really light, almost like a sheer feather light application. So you can go ahead and do this with, your regular 3D that you have at home if you're a customer of mine, or if you are a demi artist or a demi customer of mine, go ahead and sculpt as you would with your demi colors. It's going to give pretty much the same sort of idea. Like if you look closely, you can still see my skin through my contour, so I'm not getting as much coverage as sometimes you can build up with the 3D, but we're still getting that lift and definition. So again, I'm just kind of tapping this onto where my high parts of my cheekbones are, and I'm just adding a feather light area of kind of more dimension than anything. So this is a contour shade, so that just adds that little bit of dimension without a lot of heaviness. And I'm keeping these contour shades anywhere where I want to add a bit of that shadow and dimension. So I'm just going to add a little bit along the edge of my forehead here. Again, you can see the difference. It's kind of added a little bit of that depth, but you can still see my skin through it. I'm not getting a whole bunch of coverage. And this is going to be the key to like your no makeup application. So you're not looking for that full coverage heavy feel. It still looks like your skin, but you're just adding all of that dimension. So again, just a little light layer on that side. You can contour how you prefer. I'm just going to do a little bit of a nose contour as well, just because I like to do that little bit extra for myself. Just blending that out a little bit there. Same thing on this side. This is kind of something that's a little extra, so if you don't enjoy doing this, it is not a must-have. Just totally your preference there. Just gonna connect that up to my eyebrow there to finish that off. And that is kind of my adding dimension and kind of sculpt. Then I'll go in and actually do a little bit of warming. So I jumped into this makeup application a little bit different than how you might typically be used to doing your makeup. So typically when you think of doing your makeup, you think of doing an all over foundation color, then you go in with your concealer, and then you start going in and doing your contour and blush and bronzer and things like that. So with this application, and how I love to do my makeup now, is I'm adding in all of this dimension and color first, because I don't think that we need to cover up our entire faces with a layer of like foundation and concealer. After I'm done adding like all of this color, so I'm just going in, this is it, the wash brush from the Demi line. I'm going into the Bella bronzer, just taking a little bit on the edge of my brush, and I'm just gonna warm up the face and add a little bit more color with this Bella bronzer. Again, if you're my Demi users, if you have your NR, your neutral reds, this is pretty much similar, or your neutral oranges, where you're just gonna add a little bit of that kind of warmth into your face to add some color. So a very light layer here. So how I was saying is like, this is a little bit backwards because we're adding in all of this color and dimension before we go in and cover and filter any areas that we might want to make a little bit less pronounced. So what I mean by that is like, if you think of why you wear makeup, or why you put a full layer of makeup on, or why you like to wear concealer, what areas are you putting it on, right? So usually when I ask that question, I get, well, I put concealer on my under eyes because I have really dark circles and yada yada yada, or I have some acne spots that I like to use the concealer on, things like that. So that's where, instead of using a concealer here with this application, we're going to go in and use our Demi color. And I'm going to show you how to do that after I've added a little bit of this warmth and dimension. So if you can see, I'm adding in a little bit of bronzer kind of to the high parts of my face. I've blended a little bit up to my forehead. I'm just going to do a little bit on kind of my jawline here, just to add a little bit more color. You can bring it down your neck if you're a little bit fair like me, just wherever you want to add some warmth and color to your face and neck. And then after I've done this, this is when I like to go in and kind of do a little bit of that filtering, like I was saying. So at this point, my brow is crazy. At this point, I still don't have foundation on. I don't have concealer on. And you saw at the beginning, like my dark eyes kind of stood out. I was looking a little bit pale and pasty. You could see some blemishes and things like that on my forehead, which you can still kind of see. But because I've added in all of that sculpt and dimension, it already looks so much better, and it already looks so much more put together, that now I can just go in and target, you know, maybe a few of these blemishes that are standing out. I'll maybe kind of take care of my little dark under eyes. You know, if you have some melasma on your upper lip or some redness around your nose, you know, specific points, now you can go in and we can target those areas with a very highly pigmented tin. And typically you might think of this as color correcting, but I like to refer to this as color solving. So instead of just treating the color that it looks like on our face, we're actually just going to erase the excess color in these areas. And I'm going to tell you an easy way to figure this out by using these Demi color, and then that will leave the same neutral tone on your face, so it will look like your skin tone, and you will not need to put any foundation layer over top of this after you're done. So I have a few colors that are pretty prominent on my skin. Hello Casey, welcome on here. We're doing a super light, like no makeup look today. I'm super excited. Okay, so we're on to our Demi color. So with Demi color, like I said, we're treating the excess color, and there's some easy ways to do that. First off, if you are picking a distraction on your face, it is probably dark. So if it's darker than the rest of your skin tone, it is dark. So I'm telling you that right now, it's going to be dark. So it is going to have an excess of blue in it. Now, I don't have my color wheel here with me, but blue is a range from like blue-green to like blue-purple. So green is made up of blue and yellow on the color wheel, and purple is made up of blue and red on the color wheel. So in that range of blues, we have a different variety. So anything dark on your face is going to have excess blue in it. We start from there. Then you have to figure out if it's like more of a green blue or a purple blue. So how you do that is a few other color properties. There's easy rules. If you look on your face and you see something that is like brown or muddy, so like think hyperpigmentation or melasma or some freckles, that is all going to be an excess of green. Anything that's browny, muddy looking, dirty, dungy, that is going to be excess green. So then you can start there knowing that that thing on your face is probably excess green. And on the other side of the spectrum, if it's looking a little bit reddish or flushed, it's going to have excess purple in it. So it's going to be more on the purple end. So those are some like easy, fast, quick rules to determine whether it's green, true blue, or purple blue. And that is basically going to summarize all of the distractions you may want to be taking care of on your face in a really easy way. So I'm going to take care of some of these blemishes on my face. If you look at them, these ones here are mostly pretty much the same color, I would say. They all look pretty similar. They're dark on my face because they're standing out, and they are a tiny, tiny little bit flushed. So I'm going to treat them as more of a purple. So I'm going in to the opposite color, just going into the yellow here, and I'm just going to tap. I want to get this so light so you guys can see this magic. So I'm just going to tap a little bit, and I'm looking at my mirror here because I have to be very precise here. Tap just the tiniest, tiniest amount over those spots, and they will completely blend in to the rest of my skin. It's almost like I'm erasing these little tiny blemishes. This color was pretty similar, so I'm going to still stick with my yellow. This is like a super flattering angle to be able to make it so you guys can see these blemishes disappear. Same thing here. And I'm getting a little bit too much product on my brush, so that's why I'm kind of just flipping this over to kind of blend that away, kind of that excess color. You want to be careful we don't leave too much product left there. Okay, look at that, you guys. This whole forehead, minus this little blemish we're gonna take care of, this whole forehead is now like completely smooth. And I didn't use any concealer. This is my skin, you guys. Okay, this one over here, it's kind of got a couple separate areas. So this part here is like pretty dark. So I'm gonna treat it a little bit more as like a true blue. So I'm going into an orange, and I'm just gonna tap that tiny little part right in the middle there. And then the rest around it, you can kind of see there's like a little bit of that redness left. So I'm gonna go back into my my yellow here and just kind of tap away the rest of that redness around. So because it was a little bit of a larger blemish, I'm going to treat those colors separately. So always take care of the darkest portion first, and then look at that, you guys, completely disappeared. Amazing, this just blows my mind. Okay, next I'm going to take care of these under eyes because that's kind of the only rest of the areas on my face that really kind of bother me. And under eyes can be, actually we'll take care of this guy too. Under eyes can be a little bit complicated. So if you're interested in trying Demi and you have under eyes as a problem, let me help you walk you through it. There's some, again, easy steps that we can go through and target the areas. They can be overwhelming, but also we think our under eyes are a lot worse than they are. So if you look at my under eyes, we want to look at like the darkest area along here. So my darkest area would be this inner corner of my eye here. And actually this part here is actually like a little bit green. So I'm gonna go in with more of a red here. And I'm just tapping a little bit onto just that exact spot where that darkness was. And that you can see that completely brightened up that whole inner corner of my eye. Like, it's so bright now. Amazing. Okay, then we'll kind of move in a little bit here. So I have a little bit of darkness here. it just looks dark. Like, it's not super flushed. I know it kind of looks a little flushed, but that skin is so thin that it almost looks a little flushed to the eye, but it's dark. So, and here too, dark. So I'm going to treat that just as a straight blue. And actually, I know that it's a little bit more of a pigmented blue, so I'm going to go into a higher saturation of my orange. And I'm just tapping this where that darkness is only. That's it. I'm not covering my whole entire under eye. And the best part of this product is because we're using such a little amount, especially in the under eye where the skin is so thin and delicate and absolutely beautiful. The luminosity in our under eyes is amazing. It's so beautiful. But because it's such a high mobile and thin area, typically when you use your concealer, swiping it all the way like along, you're going to get movement, you're going to get creasing, it's going to cake through the rest of the day. So using a product like this with such high saturation, but you're using more of a focally placed, I'm just erasing this vein here, you guys, a focally placed and targeted approach, you're not going to see all that movement. And you're going to be much happier in the end. So you might think that this is a little bit more tedious, but because you're putting in the time to really be precise with your colors, it's going to last so much longer, and you're not going to need a bunch of layers. You're not going to need a bunch of setting powder and all the rest of the steps to really make your under eyes, you know, shine like we want to. So here I just have some pools of melasma that actually sit right on the edge of the orbital bone and cause a ton of darkness in my under eye area. So by taking a little bit of red, because I know they're melasma spots, I know they're green, I told you that already, then I'm just kind of deleting a few of these spots that way, and you can totally see all of this brightness that's left. I also have quite a large freckle here that sometimes I leave it, but today it's kind of bothering me, so I'm just going to delete those two little freckles there too. Okay, super bright, luminous, it looks like my skin, I look like I just have young, refreshed eyes. You can see all the darkness here, and all of this is just completely brightened and smoothed. Oh, I just love it. Okay, we'll do the same thing on this other side here. This is more blue on this side, so I'm just going into my orange. Yes, your under eyes may not be the same on both sides, so take a look at the colors, ask yourselves the questions that I said at the start, and you'll be able to kind of start looking and solving a few of those distractions there. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about Demi, or you're kind of getting started but you're having some trouble, message me, or I have a ton of help and tutorials and troubleshooting available on this page and also over on my Instagram as well. So I'm just going through and deleting some of these dark pigments along that under eye area there. This kind of little spot is standing out after I've left this alone for a little bit, so I'll just take care of that again there. Okay, now I have a little bit of that melasma on this side, not quite as much as the other side, so I'm just going to take and delete a few of these spots here, just to add a little bit more brightness because we can. There we go. If you want to be a little extra, you can take a little bit and delete some of those melasma spots on the nose. It'll kind of sharpen up that contour line. You guys notice that? There we go, brighten that up. There we go. Okay, so I've targeted a few of those distracting areas. I've gone in and added all of that dimension. Oh, I was going to take care of this little guy here too. So this guy is a pretty fresh blemish. So the inside is pretty dark, but it's also pretty red. So I'm actually going to go into an yellow orange. Try and take care of that guy there. How cool is this? And then you can kind of see there's still some spots. It actually looks pretty red in some spots, so I'm going to tap to my pretty purple, I guess I should say. It's looking flushed. I actually don't have a lot of like super true redness on my face, so it's looking more flushed. So I moved a little bit over to my yellow. Just tap those other two spots. And then the rest of the color that I see is just kind of darkness, so I'm just going to go into my oranges here to take care of it as a blue. Tedious, but look. You don't see that blemish at all. It was pretty textured, but you can hardly see. I mean, the skin is textured, it's going to be textured, but you can't see any enhanced texture because I'm putting makeup on it. It's just like magically vanished. Okay, last thing I'll do, and I ditched my brush here. Last thing I'll do is just add a little bit of color to my face. So I'll go in. You can use a 3D color if you want, or I'm going to use a demi color today for like a cheek. So this is R05. It's one of my favorites. And I'm just going to tap a little bit of this onto the high parts of my cheekbone, just to add a little bit of natural flush to my face. And that, my friends, is a super easy, no foundation routine. You can do it as quickly or, you know, go a little bit more detailed like I did. Kind of your preference of the day. I love this way of doing your makeup because I don't need to wear, like, there's so much of my skin that is not touched by any foundation that I still get to embrace my natural skin. But just kind of get rid of a few things that I want to cover up, right? I mean, we all have those areas on our face that we're not super happy with, and that is okay. But before demi color, I've never been able to find something that, like, look at those blemishes, they're like completely gone. So I've never been able to find something that truly lets me still leave my skin showing through. I'd always have to go in with a large amount of concealer or find some sort of foundation that worked. It ended up looking cakey and gross because the more layers of product you're putting on your face, the more chance of creasing and texture it's going to happen. That's what happens with makeup. But this product is still amazing me to this day. This demi color, and using a little bit of my 3D to kind of just add that color and dimension, I can truly embrace, you know, having all of that lovely like differentiation in the skin, but still get a little bit of that coverage that I want by filtering out those areas that I might not be happy with. So again, I am certified in demi color. I've been certified and use this product for over a year. I'm still learning every day, but it's just been such a game changer for me and my makeup routine. If this is something that you want to get your hands on, we can build you a palette, whatever size you want. I can grab you a couple demi colors to get started with some concerns on your face. You can use it with the makeup you have at home. We're not layering, it's just putting it directly on the skin and neutralizing and filtering those areas on their own. So if that's something that interests you, I would love to get you started and help you out. And that's all I have today. So next week is Valentine's Day, and we're going to do a fun Valentine's Day look for next Makeup Monday. So feel free to join in. And again, if you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you shared this. It would mean the absolute world to me. And please let me know if you do so I can give you a big thank you. And we will see you guys next week. So have a good rest of your night.